Hello and welcome to the 804 Coaches for Change Charity Classic Final. I'm Edison Palumbi alongside Alex Petrie, and the Saints look to defend their crown here as they'll take on Trinity. Last year, these two teams matched up 4 times. St. Christopher's won all 4 of those. They look to continue their winning ways against the Titans here tonight. Alex, you obviously have a lot of experience in these rivalry games. It might not be the same as it would be in Scott Gym in front of a packed crowd, but what's the feeling in these types of games as a player?
Yes, a lot of excitement, some nerves, but just a lot of excitement. And, you know, in these games, they're always going to be close and very competitive. These are 2 storied programs in the city of Richmond, and so you know it's going to be competitive.
As we've already seen some physicality here as a Titan player goes flying to the ground, and then on the other end, Wally Jones has his shot blocked by Isaiah Robinson. Here's Brent Thompson, guarded by Jones. Now Robinson has the matchup with Burnett, gives it over to Mason Patrick. Over to Thompson now. Now Robinson backing it on Burnett. Darius Gray trying to rip for the ball. It's going to be a jump ball, and it'll go to the Saints.
It's going to be very important for the Saints to stay in front of the ball. Trinity has dynamic athletes and good drivers to the basket. St. Chris is going to have to be solid defensively. Good start there. Good help by Darius Gray.
Last night, Gray had a phenomenal performance. Scored a bunch and was dishing out assists as well. LC Bird was very aggressive with their press, and it led Gray to have a lot of opportunities to pass all the way down the court, as there's an assist right there. Wally Jones, the first basket of the night.
Just so impressive for a big guy to see the court like that. As you were mentioning, Edison, yesterday against LC Bird, St. Chris had an extremely impressive win, and it started with 35. Darius Gray controlled the game from all facets.
There's a tough shot from Davion Brown, rims out.
We see the big fella leading the break after cleaning up the glass and kicking it out to shooters.
And
Boom.
That's exactly what Stu Cosby can do. He hits a 3, and the Saints off to a quick 5-0 start with 2 assists coming from Gray.
And he's a corner specialist. Stuart Cosby can really shoot that 3, and the corner is his hot spot. And with all the attention that comes into Darius, that willingness to kick and find shooters, Stewart is a lethal weapon.
Yeah, having those 3 elite shooters in Elijah Brandon, Brady Burnett, and Stu Cosby surrounding Darius Gray has given the Saints offense a whole new element this year as teams choose not to double hit Gray in the post. He's probably going to score, and then if they do, it's going to lead to an open 3 somewhere. Here's Robinson, gets a screen from Keaton Gregory, gets inside, goes off the glass, and lays it in.
And they're the Titans doing what they do, getting to the basket, strong drives. It's an impressive athlete, impressive take by Robinson.
Here's Elijah Brandon, find Wally Jones. Saints trying to get it in for Gray. They will. 1 bounce, fakes, and drag the pivot foot. So a travel by Gray.
And that's excellent help by Trinity. St. Chris did a good job running offense. What do we have here?
They're going to hit Darius with a delay of game warning on top of that. Not sure exactly what happened.
And so it's going to take two for Trinity to collapse on Darius. And so we'll look for him to be kicking that ball out to the shooters.
Now, that's going to be a foul against Gray as Davion Brown drove on Wally Jones. Excuse me, they're going to get Jones for the foul. So that'll be his first. The Saints first. So 2 free throws coming up for Brown.
That's going to be a key foul trouble for Darius Gray, as valuable as he is for this team and all that he does, rebounding, being the anchor for the defense, facilitating and scoring down low. It's going to be important that he plays with his hands up and doesn't pick up any cheap fouls.
Yeah, last night he did a very good job of that. He did pick up number 3 near the end of the 3rd quarter, but nothing past that. As Brown goes 2 for 2 at the line.
And I'm looking for Brady and Elijah Brandon in the backcourt to really make a splash. As knockdown shooters as they are, we're going to need their 3-point shooting. But after yesterday was an up-and-down track meet, so Their legs may be a little bit tired, but I expect in this rivalry game them to have all the energy needed.
Yeah, last night the Saints only hit 1 3 all night, and that came from Burnett late in the fourth quarter.
Which was partly what made the win so impressive.
As that's an offensive foul. Wally Jones steps in and takes the contact. They're going to get Davion Brown on a charge.
And that's why he's in the starting lineup. Sliding his feet, giving his body up, and that is not an easy defensive play. Davion Brown is an elite athlete, a 5-star wide receiver. And so to stay in front of him with a full head of steam is an extremely impressive play by Wally Jones.
Jones does all the little things right on the court. He's also a baseball player, and every single game he plays, he's going to end up with the dirtiest jersey on that field. And that same energy is shown on the basketball court as he misfired from the corner there, and Robinson has it knocked away by Brandon, but Brown recovers it. Mason Patrick gets inside, kicks it to the corner. Now Patrick will drive on Gray, and he walked. This year we've seen the refs crack down on those travels. If you drag your pivot foot even ever so slightly, they're going to make the call.
And as you saw Trinity right there off of the Wally Jones missed three, they're looking to push. They're looking to get easy ones in transition. The Saints get it inside.
As there's Gray, has his shot blocked from behind by Isaiah Robinson. And as you mentioned, Trinity looking to run. Here's Patrick as Cosby pinned it off the backboard. Certainly did not look to be a fan of that call.
Now, with LC Bird yesterday, they were a very quick team, and they did not have a lot of size. And with Keaton Gregory, number 5 for Trinity, and Robinson, they maybe – no one's going to be as big as Darius, right? Not at the high school level. But they have some size, 6'8", 6'7", and they have length, so they can challenge him vertically, even though they may be giving up some pounds.
Yeah, last night, LC Bird just had no answers whenever Gray got the ball. And so far, Trinity has done a much better job finding out a way to try to contain him than really any other team we've seen this year has. As here's Brady Burnett. We haven't really seen him get going yet so far in this game.
See the quickness on the perimeter by Trinity's guards, just sliding their feet.
As there's Wally Jones. Nice passing there from the Saints. And an easy 2 for Wally.
It's a heads-up play by Wally, and impressive by Darius to see the floor. But
now Robinson gets around Burnett, kicks it back out for Brown. And he'll reset with Brent Thompson. Thompson puts up a 3, left it short, rebound Brandon, and he'll look to run. Saints have a 2-on-1. Brandon goes up, count it, and 1. Tough finish through contact for Elijah Brandon, and now he'll go to the line.
He had several of those takes. Quick to the basket, quick compact guard. He goes into the basket with a purpose, and he had several very nice finishes yesterday against LC Bird, where he put his head down and got to the rim and finished.
That's been the biggest difference in his game for me this year is he's done a much better job at getting to the line and not just settling for some tough mid-ranges. Or excuse me, getting to the basket instead of just settling for some tough mid-ranges. And that's taken his game to a whole new level. We saw last Friday at Highland Springs, he scored 24 points in that game, only needed 11 shots. He was 8 of 11 from the floor, I believe 4 or 5 from 3. And those highly efficient scoring games have been very impressive for him so far.
25 last night as well.
A lot of those points came at the rim, as it seemed like all night Darius Gray was just throwing him those outlet passes like he did right there, as now throws up a wild shot, missed it, but Gavin Johnson gets the rebound, rejected by Gregory. Now we'll see if the Titans look to slow things down, as Patrick is going to be called for an offensive foul. Brady Burnett steps in and takes the shot to the chest. It's the second offensive foul that's been called against Trinity this game. Now here's Brandon, kicks it back out for Gray. Thought about a 3, decided against it. That's a nice pass in for Brandon kicks it back out to Burnett. Gavin Johnson on the wing.
Saints doing a good job being patient here. We can get a good shot, make Titans work a little bit.
Something they've been very good at all year is waiting for those good shots. Almost never do you see them force one. As here's Darius Gray for three. Not something you see very often.
Wow.
But, you know, he has hit a few in the past. The first one that comes to mind was last year in the win over John Marshall. The Saints went like the first 4.5 minutes in that game without scoring. They were down 9-0. And then Darius hit a three that just opened the floodgates from behind the arc. In a game the Saints ended up winning as that ball's out of bounds off the Saints. I believe
now, if Darius is going to be hitting threes, there's absolutely nothing you can do with him.
Yeah.
But if you're the defense, that's what you have to live with. He's going to get a breather here.
Earlier in that possession, we saw him think about taking one, decided against it, and then when he got the second chance, he ended up going for it as Nate Roberts tips that one out.
Saints have had an excellent defensive quarter. We got 1 minute and 33 seconds left. I'd really like to see them finish the quarter strong. We have some of our substitutions in. They're fresh legs and ready to get after it. So this will be big to finish the quarter strong.
Yeah,
defensively.
It seems phenomenal at getting in those passing lanes and disrupting the opposing offense. We had something get spilled on the court over there.
Coach Jones used to always tell us if the piano needs to get moved, don't be the one who carries the bench. If something spills, that he's the one who picks up the towel and is on wiping it up. Practices what he preaches.
Oh, now here's Brown, gets it inside for Keaton Gregory. With Darius out of the game, we'll see if they try to go inside, but Nate Roberts.
Great defense.
A great job there.
Very strong. Trinity's heating them up with some ball pressure. Saints are going to have to be strong with the ball.
They did
deliberate about getting into their offense.
As Brandon is going to miss the shot. And I believe they're going to get an over the back against Roberts there. So exactly a minute left to go in this first quarter. 12-6 St. Christopher's. Last night, there was not much defense to be found on the court. This game has been very different. I believe the score at the end of the first quarter yesterday was 23-22. This one,
the
might
pace
not even
was
get,
so high.
Yeah, might not even get 23 combined points, as that's going to be out of bounds off of Roberts.
LC Bird threw the kitchen sink at them, came at them in waves, press, unrelenting press, and that's what LC Bird does, but this is a different opponent. It's a different matchup.
As off the inbound, Isaiah Robinson gets a look from three, can't get it to go. Tipped up, and Roberts tries to rip it away from Gregory. That's going to be a jump ball. Arrow is towards Trinity. Now
St. Chris is giving up a little bit of size here, but we are really, really battling.
And off the inbound, no good from Mason Patrick.
I'm impressed with these minutes by Roberts right here. Came in, got the stop, and just got the strong rebound. Those are the small plays that add up to a win.
That's a good screen there for Brandon. Gets around his man, kicks it out to Colin Johnson. Little floater from the free throw line, no good. Rebound by Keaton Gregory. The Titans can hold for the final shot. Only about 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Davion Brown hands it off to Robinson. Has the matchup with Roberts, goes inside, tough shot, no good. And Colin Johnson hoists, not too far off. Like it hit Hayden Regan down there taking photos. But that'll do it for the first. Good defensive quarter from the Saints. They lead 12-6 after 8 minutes. We'll be back. Welcome back. Second quarter underway now. The Saints played very well defensively in the first frame. As now Darius Gray back out there finds Cosby. He's alone in the corner. He can't get it to go, and rebound by Brown.
Over the break, we were talking about just the excellent defensive quarter by the Saints. And Edison talked about it's quite amazing how Trinity scores on the tip-in right there, how the Saints have maintained their defensive excellence even without Brandon Jennings. But sometimes a great player has that kind of impact on the culture. And also Coach Jones is very defensive-oriented. So it's not surprising that the Saints are a strong defensive team, but that quarter was very impressive.
So here's Brady Burnett at the top of the key, finds Wally Jones. 5 starters out there for both teams.
You see Trinity helping off of Wally Jones and going to double Darius. And so earlier in the first quarter, one way to combat that, I'm
not sure if Darius got a piece of that shot or not, but in the process went down to the floor. And
one way to combat the double team by Darius is for whoever's guarding him to cut to the basket. Wally had gotten a layup early, and so I'd like to see him cut to the basket when his man leaves and gets doubled.
So now Brandon dribbles that one off his foot. Now Brent Thompson on the other end leaves it off for Davian Brown, and quickly Trinity's tied it up. Coach Jones not happy with what he's seeing. He's going to take a timeout. We'll be back in a minute. So back out of the break. The Saints have not gotten off to a great start in this quarter. Their 12-6 lead has been erased in 93 seconds, and we're tied at 12.
I'd imagine at the timeout that Coach Jones was talking about being strong with the ball. We've seen here early that the refs are letting him play this highly physical game, and Trinity has responded by heating up with ball pressure. And so Saints going to have to take care of the ball and be strong with it.
There's Harrison Miller. Can't hit from behind the arc.
Secondly, when Darius and Stewie and whoever else goes to challenge a shot, someone's got to come, and the guards have to come in and rebound, just as was showcased right there by Harrison Miller. Great job boxing out on the weak side.
Yeah, you mentioned how Trinity had been helping off Wally Jones onto Darius Gray, as Gray will go to the line there. Coach Jones probably saw that and turned to Miller, who's the better shooter, while sacrificing some on defense with taking Jones out of the game.
And so you just have to be aware as a player of what your strengths are. So if you're not a shooter and your man goes to double, you're probably cutting to the basket. If you're a shooter, you're spotting up, finding space where the man who's getting double can find you.
As Gray hits the first free throw. Missed the second off the back of the rim. Miller tries to rip it away, but Isaiah Robinson controls it. Here's Davian Brown left alone, way off.
And we'll live with that.
Yeah, we've seen him miss a couple.
Very electric athlete going to the rim.
Yeah, he definitely looks more comfortable driving to the rim than pulling up from three, especially off the dribble. Elijah Brandon finds Cosby, swings it to Miller in the corner. Good closeout there from Robinson to prevent what looked like it was going to be a good look from behind the arc. As Miller finds Burnett. Burnett gets it off to Elijah Brandon. Trinity is up the ball pressure so far as Miller will try a three, rims out. And the rebound by Brent Thompson.
That's a good driving kick, and Harrison's did a good job being ready to shoot. He passed up on the first one, which was a little early, but it comes back around. He catches in the corner. That's a good shot. Good kick by Elijah Brandon. Now, when they're helping a lot on Darius and making it hard for him, Brady and Elijah Brandon are going to have to make some plays off of the bounce, either for themselves or for someone else.
Yeah, right now the Saints probably have Gray surrounded by their 4 best shooters on the team. That was a tough shot there from Mason Patrick.
And Mason Patrick is committed to Hampton-Sydney. He's an excellent player, scored 1,000 points already. And Hampton-Sydney was in the national championship for Division III last year, so he's quite the player.
And Trinity has their first lead of the game right now, but that's not going to last long. Darius Gray with the and one.
Too strong, man amongst boys.
Yep, not much you can do to stop that. I guess outside of triple teaming him, maybe. It's about your only chance there.
And with the way he's playing, he's looking like a first-team all-Metro caliber basketball player, which is absolutely mind-boggling considering his status as a football player. There's not many players who do both.
Yeah.
Like Darius.
Now Colin Johnson checks in.
We see the Saints here with a lineup with a lot of size, combating Trinity's lineup with a lot of size. Good adjustment by Coach Jones, and we're going to zone. See if Trinity challenge them, see if they can hit some outside shots.
As Colin Johnson strips it away from Patrick. Now Miller with a nice skip pass to get it to Cosby. He'll drive, goes up with the right, and lays it in.
I love that take by Stuart Cosby. He's a great shooter, but the next stage of his development is being comfortable attacking closeouts and getting to the rim and finishing strong. Great attack right there by Stuart Cosby.
I think every person in the building, including me, thought Cosby was going to take that shot, which his prowess as a three-point shooter definitely makes it easier for him to get those looks at the basket with people closing out so aggressively on him, knowing that if he gets the space, he's going to make that shot from behind the arc. And now
we see the St. Chris zone is stalling Trinity a bit, has them on their heels.
They find a good look from the baseline there, but Patrick couldn't hit. They're going to get Gavin Johnson, or excuse me, Harrison Miller. So a good defensive possession by the Saints, and they get the rebound, but an off-the-ball foul.
And that's rare. That's rare. Usually you could be as physical as you want off the ball. I'm surprised with the way this game's been officiated that was called. But we get a chance to reset and get another solid defensive possession.
Yeah, Trinity going to their bench and nearly a turnover there. Here's Keaton Gregory. Good defense from Gray in the post. As now Colin Johnson putting some pressure on Isaiah Robinson. Here's Robinson for three. No good. Rebound Johnson.
And we saw the communication on the floor by the Saints, pointing and talking about matchup. Zones can be kind of confusing sometimes for the defense to know who you're guarding because you're not guarding a particular man, but an area. And so excellent job communicating right there on that possession.
Gray finds Colin Johnson. Right back to Darius. As now Cosby puts up a contested three, no good. As Gregory pulls down that rebound with two Saints closing in on him. And here's Darian Irvin, recently checked into the game. Finds Fantasia Mason. No good off the glass.
Snatch that. Give me that.
As now Darius going down the other end, goes up. And no good. And they're going to say that's off the Saints.
Reggie Kane is a ref that has been reffing for a long time. I remember he reffed many of my games. And I don't want to doubt him, but I don't know if he saw the right thing on that occasion.
Yeah, I don't know what the angle he had. I don't think he could have seen it.
The ball hit Trinity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it came down, it hit the leg of Patrick while he was standing out of bounds. And with the angle the ref had, I don't think he could have seen that. So under 2 minutes to go now in the first half. Low scoring.
I guess players aren't perfect. Refs aren't either.
Definitely not. As now Mason Patrick from the corner, an air ball.
Off the short. You see Trinity struggling to hit outside shots. The zone may be something that Saints can have some continued success with.
As Elijah Brandon can't get that one to go. Brandon going to the floor. Trinity's going to run. Patrick goes right inside. And they're going to get a foul.
That's what they're looking to do.
It's going to be
a shot, turnover, run it real quick down the court.
One's going to be on Johnson. Now Brady Burnett will replace Elijah Brandon. Oh, so that foul was on the floor. So Trinity will inbound. As now Patrick goes up around Cosby in a nice finish.
He's a crafty player around the rim.
Yeah, that was a really nice move there to get around Stu Cosby. Now Burnett spinning, gets in the lane, throws it up.
Wow.
Gets it to fall. There was a lot of contact there. The refs definitely letting these two teams play this game.
And he's a shooter, and it's real promising to see him take the ball to the basket strong like that and finish through contact. Very excited. He's gotten so much better over the last year.
There's a block from Cosby. The Saints slowed things down.
We've got less than a minute here.
This will be a big close to this half for the Saints. As now Burnett again goes inside, and he'll go to the line.
It's another strong take by Brady. Like I said, these guards, Brady and EB particularly, are going to have to just make some plays off the bounce with the pressure that Trinity's putting on them. Sometimes that's the best offense. Just take the ball and go.
Now Burnett at the line for two. First one no good. Free throw shooting has been an issue for the Saints this year. It started in their first game of the year where they began that game 0 for 12 at the line. And it's gotten better since then, but still likely not where they want it. Burnett goes 1 for 2. And the lead up to 5 for the Saints.
Called free throws. They're supposed to be free, but sometimes it gets to be mental.
Yeah, and they definitely have good shooters who are capable of making them. We'll see if Trinity holds for the last shot here with no shot clock. They can if they want to. There's a deep three from Brent Thompson. No good. Roberts the rebound. And now the Saints will get one more look. Their biggest lead of the game was 6 so far. They'll look to extend it as Cosby driving, spinning, falling away. Gets the bounce. Tough shot from Stu Cosby.
Great move. Great half by the Saints. Holding Trinity to 16 points. Excellent defense. We're controlling the pace, and we're getting what we want. Impressive half.
The Saints lead by 7 going into the break. We'll be back in 15 minutes. Hello and welcome back. The second half just about ready to get underway. The Saints had a great defensive showing in the first half of this game, only allowing 16 points. Alex, what are some things you think are keys for the Saints in the second half?
Well, I think great teams don't execute for a quarter or for a half, but for a whole game. And so we're going to have to be disciplined and keep to the scouting report. And so that is keeping the Titans in front of us and keeping them out of transition. And that's the adjustment right there from Trinity. When we go zone, to get that ball to the middle and get it to the basket.
It was a nice finish there from Mason Patrick to start off this half. The starters out there for both teams. Here's Elijah Brandon.
You can tell these teams know each other, calling out each other's plays. And so this is going to be one of those games where you have to run your stuff and run it to the bottom of the bag. You're going to have to run to your second and your third option, and eventually players are just going to have to make plays.
As Gray missed there, but tapped it back out to Cosby. So the Saints will get a chance to reset.
You see the ball pressure by Trinity. I think that's going to be another focus, just trying to heat up the Saints, not letting us run our offense, not letting us get into the things that we want to get into.
Gray backing in, now falling away. Beautiful shot from Gray. I mean, if he's going to do that, I don't know what you're supposed to do.
How many 300-pound, however big he is, shooting fadeaways? How often do you see that? That's ridiculous.
He can add that to his bag consistently. He might be able to get those same SAC offers for basketball that he's getting for football.
They're going to say, come here, NIL, play both.
As now, here's Keaton Gregory from the free throw line.
It's a nice looking jump shot for a big fella. I think Saints might come out of the zone. It served us well, but the zone, once you crack it, it can fall apart.
Yeah. Here's Brady Burnett.
Good
nice
shot
fake. Gets inside. Can't get the roll, but Gray flying in for the rebound. It's going to be off. It's going to be off Gray, so it'll go to the Titans.
I'd like to see that from the Saints shooters a little bit more. We have such electric shooters in E.B. Brandon and Brady Burnett and Stuart Cosby. Just that shot fake can be such a weapon. And you got Davion Brown right off of his feet, was able to get to the basket. It's something that I'd like to see from them here moving forward.
We did see Cosby use that move earlier in this game, and it got him an easy layup. So I think definitely, especially for Burnett and Cosby, also Brandon as well, that's something they should try to utilize. As that's going to be an and one for Brent Thompson. A good start to the half for Trinity.
So the question for Trinity, where's the scoring going to come from? As we had Brandon Jennings last year as our top player, they had Alex Chaikin, and he was a phenomenal shooter. Shout out Alex Chaikin, is at my alma mater, Lafayette, right now, doing work, killing it. But that's the question for Trinity is where's the bulk of the scoring going to come from? Who are they going to run their offense through? Coach Blazer is someone who likes to run, his stuff, and so who are you going to run it through?
I think the Saints are going to run the majority of their offense through Darius Gray, but can't get that layup to go. Now Trinity can tie or take the lead for the first time since it was 13-12. Now driving, that's going to be an offensive foul. Brent Thompson extended the forearm.
It always cracks me out when players do something blatant and obvious and then say, what? Me? I did that? Yeah, you did that. You just threw your arm at him.
It reminds me of in a football game when a defensive back commits an obvious pass interference and then still does the incomplete celebration. I've seen that a couple times today in the numerous playoff games. So the Saints now are going to take a timeout. We'll be back in a minute. back out of the timeout. The Saints still holding on to a 2-point advantage, but Trinity definitely has started this quarter off very well. Now here's Stu Cosby, contested three, can't get the bounce. Colin Johnson fighting for the rebound. That's going to stay with the Saints.
Hustle plays make the difference. I'm going to shout out Nick Sherrod real quick. He's a Saints legend, all-time leading scorer. Tuned in, locked in to his squad.
Now, here's Brady
Wish
Burnett.
he was out there.
Yeah.
I don't think we'd have any problems.
No.
None at all, actually.
Now Darius Gray going to hand it off to Brandon. But good job from Brent Thompson to work around that screen. Gray facing up on Gregory. Throws one up off the glass and gets it to go.
Oh, my gosh.
Tonight there have been like 3 or 4 moves I've seen Darius do that I don't think he's ever done before.
This college basketball big man who can't do that. It makes no sense.
You know, we've said it before, but if Darius wanted to play basketball instead of football, he absolutely could.
I just like watching him play. It's so unique.
As Brandon has that one slip through his arms, it gives Trinity a second chance, but Keaton Gregory can't take advantage of it as that fadeaway goes off the back rim.
What's he about to do?
Now here's Gray. Kicks it out to Cosby.
Good pump fake.
Gets inside, and he traveled. The pump fake worked great, as you mentioned.
When you get in there and everything collapses, that's when you got to look out. We had Elijah Brandon out at the top.
Yeah.
So it's important when you get in there and everything collapses to see the whole court.
It's going to be a foul against the Saints. I believe they got Gray, and they did.
Ticky-tack.
Yeah, those are the Saints. Those are the fouls the Saints really don't want to see Darius picking up. Although that is only his first, so he's done a very good job staying out of foul trouble.
Let's keep him out of foul trouble.
Yeah, sure, Coach Jones.
We don't need those calls.
Now here's Isaiah Robinson. Gives it over to Brent Thompson. Now gets caught up in the air, but finds Gregory, who is going to go to the line. Bit of a late whistle for a moment. It looked like Brandon might have gotten away with what appeared to be a clear foul.
I also would like to.
That was Colin Johnson.
I'd also like to mention that the Saints are without star point guard senior Sonny Bridges, and he is out with a torn ACL, out for the season. I'm devastated for him because he was set for a special season. He was really coming into his own, beginning to blossom in tandem with Brandon Jennings, and it's unfortunate, but it's a part of the game, and he will grow and get better from it.
Yeah, I remember last year at the start of the Prep League tournament, Jennings ran into a stretch where he was struggling with his shot. And then in a game on the road at Bishop O'Connell in the state tournament, Bridges went out and scored 19 of the Saints' 44 points in an upset victory over the number 2 seeded team in the state. And those are the types of things he was capable of, as Brady Burnett can't get that one to go.
So you can imagine what the Saints would look like with Sonny.
Yeah.
But it's credit to Coach Jones and Coach Churchwell, who is a recent addition to the Saints bench. He used to be a coach at Benedictine back when I was playing, and he has NBA pedigree. He played at Georgetown when Georgetown was Georgetown with Alonzo Mourning, and so we are very lucky to have Coach Churchwell wearing red, not green with the Saints. And so Coach Jones and Coach Churchwell have done an amazing job of getting this team ready and adjusting to the circumstances of injuries with not only – oh, wow.
As there's Darius Gray once again, finishes off the basket, and he's going to go to the line.
Unstoppable.
Absolutely.
But – yeah, Coach Jones has really just done an amazing job with the St. Chris program. For the last 15 years, we've been premier program in the city, and he's had all different types of teams with Rodney Williams And some of those teams earlier on, they were more post-oriented and muscular teams with a slower pace. And then with myself and Nick Sherrod, it was more free-flowing, perimeter-oriented. And then with Brandon Jennings here recently in the team last year, it was defensive-minded and a well-balanced attack. And so Coach Jones has had all kinds of different teams. He's adjusted and got the most out of them.
As Brady Burnett can't get that three to fall there. Now the Titans looking to run. Here's Patrick, goes inside right at Brandon and lays it in with that size advantage he has.
That's transition defense. You have a 1,000-point scorer coming down the court, and you can't just let him walk into the lane and get a right-handed layup. We've got to do better than that.
Johnson gets it into Gray. Darius Gray.
A running hook. Oh, my gosh. He's putting on a clinic. Edison, he's putting on a clinic.
I mean, I'm not sure how you can guard him with how he's playing tonight.
He's hitting fadeaways, running hooks.
Seems like every time he touches the ball, he finds some new move I've never seen him do before. And now Trinity going to take a timeout.
They're throwing their hands up. They're like, I really don't know what to do with this guy. I don't either, but I'm glad he's wearing red.
Yep. So the Saints lead by 4 with 55.2 to go in the third as Trinity takes the timeout. Back out of the timeout now. Trinity will inbound from the baseline. Here's Brent Thompson. About 45 seconds to go in the third quarter. Still a tight game, could go either way. As Robinson airballs there, but Patrick the rebound, and he'll put it back up and in. The Saints have led for really the entire game, but just haven't been able to pull away. Their lead's gotten as big as 7. They've only ever trailed once when it was 14-13.
Edison, that's how these games go.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. One team could be up 7, 10, 15. They always find a way to scores come together at the end, and we get games like this down to the wire.
Now Gray held it at the midcourt, now drives inside, throws it up, and some well-earned free throws coming. They're going to get Robinson there.
Now, it's a lot easier said than done, but if Darius has the ball up top and he's coming downhill at you, which direction do you think he's going to go?
Yeah.
To his right hand.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, a lot easier said than done, but when you're facing a player that is as strong as Darius, you got to push them towards their weakness.
Gets the first free throw to go.
I don't want to jinx it, but so let me not say it yet.
I think I know where you were going.
And I jinxed it anyway. Oh, wow.
So now here's Davion Brown from half court. Looked pretty good, but ended up a bit wide left. So a good response from Trinity. A tightly contested fourth quarter coming up. Saints lead 32-29. fourth quarter just about ready to get going here. And this game going to go down to the wire.
And this is a championship game, and this is 804 Coaches for Change tournament, which has kind of replaced the Times Dispatch Invitational. And so, although it's not exactly a packed house in here, there are stakes. This is a championship game.
That's going to be
oh boy,
a hack from Tara Nelson.
Yeah, that's not exactly someone you want to step to. Yeah, he kind of let that go real quick.
Yeah.
He said, I don't want any problems. We're all good. We're all good, man.
It's a bit weird. The stakes kind of don't feel as high in this game because they're not playing in front of a packed Scott gym. But as you mentioned, there's a championship on the line right now. As sloppy pass there from Brandon. Mason Patrick going down on the other end. No good, but a foul is called.
And that's the importance of taking care of the ball, is not only do you forfeit a chance to score, but it leads directly to the other team, in this case Trinity and Mason Patrick, having a free trip to the free throw line.
So Patrick misses the first. Both teams leaving some points at the line.
And now, Edison, you were talking about the Saints' struggles at the free throw line, and so one thing that we may look to see down the stretch is if Trinity will go with a hack-a-Darius strategy, in which they will intentionally foul Darius to put him at the line to see if he can knock down free throws down the stretch.
You know, with his progression in free throw shooting, it's not a super easy strategy to employ, but at the same time, their choices tonight are either foul him or give up 2 points. So, might as well foul. Now, nice skip pass there. Finds Cosby. That's going to be a block against Nelson. So, enters the game at the start of the fourth and picks up 2 quick fouls.
And as we come down the stretch too, it's not all, it can't all be on Darius.
Yeah, we're
gonna have to have guys step up and make big shots. And substitution. Okay, we got a body up here to to bang with Darius. I guess that's why he's in the game.
So Gray has that matchup with Love.
Uh-oh.
He'll take him off the dribble. Goes up and still scores.
And he's talking to him too. Yeah, come in the game and get this work. Come here.
Trinity's coach, Cedric Moore, at this point, not sure what else he has in his bag of tricks, as that three no good. Everything Trinity's doing tonight to try to stop Gray hasn't been able to work. And now Gray's going to pull up from three. Bang!
Oh.
Darius Gray from behind the arc.
Don't do it to him, Darius. Don't do it to him.
What can't he do?
Put the dagger in him.
And now Trinity needs a timeout. Darius Gray taking over this game. The Saints lead by 7 with 6:34.
Man. Oh, we're off.
So back out of the timeout, Trinity down 7. Darius Gray taking over this game for the Saints. And now we'll see what the Titans can do to try to answer.
I mean, if you're Trinity, what do you do with him at this point?
As
oh, my gosh.
Goes in and blocks that shot
He's
from
doing
Davion
everything.
Brown.
I mean, he's hit 2 threes tonight. He's blocking shots off the backboard.
Now here's Cosby, gets it in for Gray. And he traveled. It's about the only chance Trinity's had to stop him tonight, is off a travel like that. Here's Brent Thompson. Tries to get it in for Patrick, and Gray just rips it away from him. Looked like he was playing free safety there. So now Gregory has to come out and respect that three-pointer, as Darius has hit 2 of them tonight. Now here's Brandon, gets it over to Stu Cosby. In for Gray, he'll face up with Gregory. Gray drives, gets inside, leaves it off for Colin Johnson. His shot blocked. Gray gets the rebound, goes up, missed it, but 2 free throws.
And you saw that cut there by Johnson. That's exactly what Darius was just telling him. When everyone's collapsing on me, when your man comes in doubles, cuts to the basket, you have a layup.
That was a really nice pass from Gray there to find Johnson. And it ends up in 2 free throws for Darius after he rebounded the miss.
Coach is doing a great job of putting Darius in space where he can make plays. And we have shooters to keep the defense honest. And so they're going to have to stay ready. Right now, Darius is doing a lot of the heavy lifting, but we're going to still need those guys to be ready to catch and shoot.
And Gray misses the second, so 1 for 2 at the line. The lead is 8 with 5:17 left. Here's Isaiah Robinson. Gets it over to Brent Thompson. Thompson gets a screen from Brown. And now it's back to Robinson with Brady Burnett guarding him. Robinson drives, spinning. Shot altered by Gray. Rebound loose, taken by Gregory, blocked by Cosby. Now the Saints looking to run. Here's Brandon on the other end, goes up. Somehow didn't get a foul call. And that shot went through the bottom of the rim.
It went in the basket, just from the wrong direction.
But it'll end up out of bounds and staying with the Saints. Now here's Burnett. And offensive foul. So they're going to get Darius on that foul, only his second. And a foul there against Colin Johnson. It's going to be number 4 on Colin. He's been very aggressive in those passing lanes this game, but those can also result in a foul.
Down the stretch here, we know who St. Chris is going to and what their action is going to be, but I'm still trying to figure out what Trinity is going to be looking for down the stretch, what matchups they're going to be trying to exploit, and who they're going to for their shots and to make their plays.
Yeah, for me, there's been a surprising lack of involvement from Mason Patrick, as that's an offensive foul there. And Brady Burnett steps in and draws the forearm from Brent Thompson.
I would agree with you. I would think that Mason Patrick is your guy. He's a senior. He's experienced, seasoned, and he's a very good player, but he's been surprisingly quiet, as you mentioned. But we'll be back.
And now Trinity needs a timeout, so we'll be back in a minute. So welcome back out of the timeout. St. Christopher's leads by 8, and they have it with 4:10 left.
You see Trinity coming out with some pressure. Great job by the Saints.
Yeah, they did a great job against LC Bird's press last night.
Prepared them for this, and Coach Jones in practice had 6 and 7, 8 players on the court playing to simulate the relentlessness of the press.
You know, if they can do it in a 5-on-8, definitely can do it in a 5-on-5.
That's the thought.
As Coach Jones needs a timeout there with Colin Johnson caught up. So we'll be back after this timeout. So out of the timeout now, the Saints will have it with 3:44 to go. They lead 38-30. You know, if you want to compare this game to last night's, 38-30 was around the score with maybe 5 minutes left in the second quarter.
And with no shot clock here, this is something that the Saints can exploit, just milking the clock a little bit.
Yeah, it's at least a 3-possession game right now. As that's going to be a foul against Gregory. That'll be number 5 on Trinity. So they'll send Gray to the line.
Hackadarius, here it comes. About the best chance they have of stopping him, I guess.
And leaves the first one short. And hits the second, so 1 for 2 at the line. The lead is up to 9. Here's Thompson, over to Patrick. Mason Patrick driving inside, goes up. Good defense from Cosby, and then he pulls down the rebound. Brandon gets it over to Darius Gray.
That was a great left-handed pass by Elijah Brandon.
It was.
On the money, crisp, with defenders on him.
Now they're going to foul Gray again. That one looked pretty intentional from Gregory, so maybe it is the strategy for Trinity to just send the Saints to the line now, down by 9. Gray can't get the roll on the first one. Now Mason Patrick has some bleeding in his right elbow. Doesn't look serious at all, but it is the procedure that if a player has any sort of blood, they have to come out of the game.
That's when you tell the ref, that's dry blood, that's dry blood.
Yeah, very unfortunate timing for Trinity. It doesn't look like it's anything serious at all, just a small cut. It's not like blood was flowing or anything. Oh, he just got it wrapped up. He's going to be back in shortly, it appears, but Gray hits the second, so 1 for 2 at the stripe. The lead is double digits for the first time tonight. Here's Thompson, steps back, three-pointer, way off. And the Saints are going to take over.
That's we're feeling desperate shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a shot the Saints would be very happy with them having to take for the rest of this game.
And so at this point, Trinity's going to put on the full court press, and we're going to have to handle it and hit free throws.
Now here's Gray, gets caught up in the air, but manages to find Burnett. A beautiful
Wow.
pass to Brandon. Gets the roll.
Great pass and great finish.
That pass from Brady was perfect.
On the money.
Here's Robinson. Good defense from Cosby to close him off. Now here's Maddox Patrick. Tries to get it inside from Mason. Spinning, goes up, counted and one.
Brother-to-brother connection right there. But these fouls for Trinity, them shooting free throws is good to stop the clock and set up the press. So Saints are going to have to be careful not to foul down the stretch.
With this free throw, Patrick could get it back to a 3-possession game, but he won't. Although Robinson with the rebound, but stripped away by Gray. So the lead stays at 10. As an ill-advised pass from Cosby there, but barely gets it through somehow. Now here's Brandon over to Gray. And he's going to be fouled.
Now they keep doing Hackadarius, they're all going to foul out.
Yeah?
Yeah. And he's making them pay.
With no shot clock, it's just tough to spring a comeback. As the Saints, if they wanted to, technically could have held the ball for the rest of the game. They wouldn't have done that.
And has Trinity made a three-pointer tonight?
I don't think so.
I don't recall a three-pointer, so if you're only making twos, it is going to be hard to spring a comeback.
As there's Robinson.
Well, there
right
it
as
is.
you speak.
All right on cue. Whoops. Didn't mean to speak that up.
Yeah. So the lead back down to 9. Trinity takes a timeout. And only a minute 43 to go. We'll be back. So out of the timeout, the Saints lead 44-35. The main focus for them in these last 103 seconds, being careful with the ball. As turning it over in the front court is what could give the Titans a lifeline. They do a good job to get it across there. Trinity might start fouling soon. They get it to Burnett. Probably not the guy the Titans want to put at the line. And they're going to foul Gray as soon as he gets it.
You saw Elijah Brandon up by half court right there. He was getting double teamed. He picked up his dribble, and he stepped through the two defenders. As a savvy move to keep the ball alive, and the Saints are doing a good job of coming to the ball and meeting the ball.
As Gray hits the first. And 2 for 2. So Gray makes him pay for putting him at the line there. And here's Isaiah Branch in the game for the first time. Now Patrick's shot blocked by Colin Johnson. Brown tries to rip it away, but they're going to call a foul. Great help defense there from Johnson to deny the shot from Patrick.
That's been the story of the night. Nothing easy for Trinity.
The Saints defense has suffocated the Titans all night. So Johnson will be at the line for 2. And the Titans, at least for the time being, are going to turn this game into a free throw parade. The Saints hoping to get into a point with their free throw shooting to where Trinity just concedes. So the lead is up to 13 now for St. Christopher's. Here's Isaiah Branch, gets inside, leaves it off for Brown, missed the bunny. And now Branch tries to rip it away from Gray. I think Brown might have just been surprised that he was so open there. It's not a shot you would expect him to miss.
That's the kind of shot where we've already lost, and that you just felt the air go out of the Trinity bench. I mean, this game was already over, but now you look at them and it's over. Yeah. And so Saints beat the Titans 4 times out of 4 times last year, and now get the first one in this year's series. I'm just so impressed with the Saints today and yesterday in this tournament. They have really responded to adversity with some injuries this season and taken on a new identity. Darius Gray has stepped up and played like a first-team All-Metro Player of the Year type player. And the Saints are, Coach Jones and Coach Churchwell have this team playing excellent, disciplined basketball. It's a joy to watch.
So the lead up to now, a game-high 15. So the next time these two teams are going to meet up is going to be on Friday, January 17th. That'll be at Trinity. That game was very entertaining last year. For a moment, it looked like Trinity was going to pull off the win, but then a run by the Saints that was led by Brandon Jennings. They went on a 12-0 run. That was a part of an 18-4 run after going down by 6, and they ended up winning that game by 10. The first free throw was missed by Jeremiah Robinson, as MJ Crocker will check in for Elijah Brandon. So 1 for 2 at the line for Trinity. The lead is 14 for St. Christopher's. Here's Johnson. Oh. And it's going to be a foul off the ball on Isaiah Branch. It'll send Charlie Suskin to the line.
And we do a lot of talking about the Saints who get the majority of the minutes and the points and the rebounds, but there's a lot of players on the team who really contribute to winning through their hard work and practice. And so especially with what we were talking about earlier with, preparing for the press and playing 6, 7, 8 on 5, a lot of these players really help the team and deserve a lot of credit.
So Susskind gets the first one to fall. And 2 for 2. With them deeming it an intentional off-the-ball foul. The Saints will keep possession as well. Now Coach Jones will empty out his bench. All the starters getting to sit. Here's MJ Crocker. Over to James Ayers. Now Patrick Leckie. Leckie spinning, loses it. And now on the other end, Darion Irvin will go up and lay it in. James Ayers turns it over. Now here's Maddox Patrick, left it short, but he'll go to the line for 2.
Sometimes it can be hard coming into the game after you've been sitting for all of this time, and you still have nerves. The game's put away, but, you know, it's still you're out there playing. You're not used to getting the type of game minutes that the starters get, and so it can be a challenge for these guys to come in and do what they normally do on a daily basis in practice, but it's a good experience for them.
And 1 for 2 at the line. So the lead is 13 for St. Christopher. Should have no problems holding on to it. Nice job to break the press there. Suskin loses it, gets it back, spinning up and under, missed it. But Crocker to the rebound, and he'll lay it up strong.
That was a nasty spin move and a great follow-up.
Now on the other end, Jeremiah Robinson lays it in as the buzzer sounds. St. Christopher's continues their dominance over Trinity, and they're going to defend their crown in the 804 Coaches for Change Community Classic. After beating LC Bird last night, they beat Trinity tonight at the Henrico Sports and Event Center. And 2 years running now, they're the champions of this tournament.
Shout out to Coach Lewis for putting on this great tournament, this wonderful event, trying to do good, make a positive impact on the community, bringing people together through sports. It's an amazing thing he's doing. And shout out to the Saints, getting it done. Champions.
After losing their first game of the year, they've now won 5 straight. They're looking like a team that's poised to make another deep run into the Prep League and the state tournament. Well, we thank you all for tuning in. I'm Edison Columbia alongside Alex Petrie. We will see you next week at Benedictine for the Benedictine Capital Classic on Saturday the 28th at noon. Thank you all for tuning in.